Welcome everybody to Making Movement with Onion Skin Animation. This is going to be your portfolio project for tomorrow, which will be Tuesday. It'll be on your planner, and I won't be able to see any of you until Thursday for live lessons, so I wanted to make a quick video to help you explain everything. For me to explain everything to you. So our learning goals are going to be to master the illusion of motion, which is what animation is. So you'll be able to say, I can use onion skin and small changes between frames to create the illusion of movement in my digital or physical projects if you're making a flip book. Your essential tools, you'll be able to use Brush Ninja, which is the one that I'm going to show you how to use today. If you want to use Flip-a-Clip, Canva, or PowerPoint, and you aren't sure how to do those, you can book time with me and I'll show you how to use those. But Brush Ninja is very simple to use. I'll show you how to use it. But if you have another animation program that you would like to use, please just send me a webmail about it so I'm aware of what it is and I can clear it. You want to keep your sequential art in your animation so that you can put them into your portfolio. I have a template for you to use to submit, and that will be probably the easiest way to do it. You cannot submit it as a PDF. You're going to have to send me the link. You can put the link into a Word doc or something like that, and that is going to be the way that you drop it into the Dropbox. They don't have a really good way for links. I'm going to play this for you.
In this ongoing series, I aim to chart the entire history of one of humankind's most spectacular art forms, animation. In this first part, we'll discover the early history of the art form, from prehistoric explorations of movement, ancient artworks, pre-cinema devices, and the earliest projected stories. This is the evolution of cartoons. Part 1. The prehistory of animation. Did you know that the art of animation is older than the medium of filmmaking itself? In fact, one might argue that filmmaking isn't even possible without the concept of animation to begin with. At their true core, movies or motion pictures are nothing but illusions of light, flashing thousands of singular images before our eyes in rapid succession at a rate so fast that it tricks our brain into thinking we're witnessing natural movement. All films, whether hand-drawn, computer-generated, or live-action, owe their entire existence to the illusion of animation. So it's no surprise that some of the earliest films ever created experimented with bringing hand-drawn images, cartoon characters, and inanimate objects to life. This is what we now consider to be the art of animation in its most basic form, and it's one which has only grown with the art form of cinema, and quite rightly has helped grow the art form of cinema along with it, with many filmmaking techniques we now consider standard in both animated and live-action productions having been developed to assist the creation of animation. Humans, however, were interested in the illusion of moving images thousands of years prior to the development of celluloid film. The earliest examples of human fascination with movement in art have been found in prehistoric cave drawings across the globe, some simply featuring animals with multiple sets of limbs implying movement, others sets of sequential images, which scholars suggest may have been lit one by firelight to suggest movement during primitive storytelling. Similar sequential art has been found in ancient Egyptian tombs and on Middle Eastern artifacts, dating back over 4,000 years. Perhaps the first known device used for animated illusion is a pottery bowl dating back to 2500 BC, featuring sequential images etched around it which appear to move when spun. However, the most spectacular example found in the ancient world is the Parthenon frieze, a continuous tableau of pentalic marble sculpture presented on the Parthenon in Acropolis, Greece. Once again, the frieze is an example of early sequential imaging, though this piece, as well as being described as displaying movement, rhythm, and melody, actually displays a simple narrative: Greek horsemen carrying objects to sacrifice to Athena, the monumental statue held inside the structure. Even more astounding, it's said that the carvings are so precise that if shot frame by frame and played back, it would form an entirely coherent animation. Another incredible example, and arguably the first display of figure animation, is shadow puppetry, which emerged somewhere between the last millennium BC and the 1st century AD. Likely originating somewhere in Central Asia, shadow puppetry used cut-out figures, or shadow puppets, placed between a transparent screen and a light source. These articulated figures would appear as moving shadows on the screen, through which full stories could be told. It was inarguably a very primitive precursor to the projection of an animated film. By 1450 AD, Renaissance artist, engineer, scientist and theorist Leonardo da Vinci was even experimenting with human movement in his drawings, exemplified in numerous sets of anatomical studies, not much unlike those prehistoric cave etchings. The innovations of the Common Era made way for numerous devices that brought life to drawings and inanimate sculptures. Revolving lanterns, or trotting horse lamps, emerged in China around 1000 AD, which used candlelight to project silhouettes from a metal shaft onto thin paper, while the middle 1800s saw the innovation of the thaumatrope, essentially a parlor toy that featured two separate images on opposite sides of a disc. When spun, the two images would either appear as one or have the illusion of movement. This was achieved through the persistence of vision, the way in which the human eye retains impressions of light after they've quickly passed and a new one has entered the retina. Soon after, this concept was applied to mathematician and physicist Joseph Plateau's phenakistoscope, a paper disc with evenly spaced successive sequential pictures which could be spun to create the illusion of movement. The popularity of the phenakistoscope, likewise a novelty toy, led to the much larger zoetrope, a spinning drum with a similar paper strip, likewise adorned with sequential pictures in a loop, and later the praxinoscope, a very similar device which used mirrors to aid in the movement. It was perhaps the magic lantern, debuting in the middle 1600s, that was the most important innovation in animation to this point, 200 years before the invention of photography itself. The device, somewhat resembling an early camera, utilized a gas lamp to project images painted onto small pieces of glass, essentially slides. By the 1700s, advancements in magic lantern technologies allowed artists to move the images with the use of multiple planes of glass and jointed figures moved by levers, rods, or worm wheels. Magic lantern shows became increasingly popular attractions for pre-cinema audiences, and by the late 1700s, artists had discovered how to use them to project images onto smoke and thin transparent screens, a technique used in the highly popular horror theatre, the Phantasmagoria. With the invention of electricity in the late 1800s, magic lanterns could be operated by light bulbs, allowing much sharper, brighter, and larger projections, utilized in huge theaters with audiences in their thousands. With this, new technologies also allowed for the use of revolutionary dissolves and transformations. The first photographs were taken in the middle 1820s via a technique known as heliography, upon which impressions of light could be produced on metal sheets. Soon enough, inventors discovered ways to print light onto specialized paper utilizing photosensitive chemicals. By the late 1870s, these photographs were utilized to document movement via a technique known as chronophotography, described as a set of photographs of a moving object taken for the purpose of recording and exhibiting successive phases of motion. While these were never exhibited as motion pictures, but instead presented on simple cabinet cards for scientific research, the basic components of the eventual celluloid film and frame-by-frame animation of movement were here. Using today's technology, chronophoto series such as 1877's The Horse in Motion can be combined to create the earliest examples of cinema and animation. Over the next decade, chronophotography would inspire inventor Thomas Edison to create a device that could in fact play these sequential images as short pieces of entertainment, the kinetoscope. But more on that later. In 1888, French inventor Émile Reynaud, inventor of the praxinoscope, filed a patent for a new device called the théâtre optique, or the optical theatre. Using his praxinoscope as its basis, Reynaud created a highly sophisticated device that could project lengthy sequences of successive sequential movement, the very first animated films. As per Reynaud's patent, the aim of the apparatus is to obtain the illusion of motion, which is no longer limited to the repetition of the same poses at each turn of the instrument, as is necessary in all known apparatus, but having, on the contrary, an indefinite variety and duration, and thus producing real scenes animated by unlimited development, hence the name of the optical theatre given by the inventor to this apparatus. The device incorporated large gelatin bands upon which hundreds of images were painted by hand. The bands, essentially the first ever film strips, were adorned by perforations along the top and bottom, which were utilized to thread them onto a pair of reels, which could be turned by hand. The bands ran before a magic lantern, projecting them onto a screen, upon which a second background image was rear-projected by an additional magic lantern. For his moving pictures, Reynaud commissioned accompanying soundtracks, complete with both musical scores and sound effects, all performed live with the presentation. The result was pure magic, an illusion of movement accompanied by sound and music. Reynaud produced a number of cartoons, including Pauvre Pierrot, Un Bon Boc, A Tour de Cabine, and Le Clown et ses chats, all presented within the Pantomimes Lumineers program, debuting in 1892. Not only could we consider these the first animated films ever, we could also consider them the first films ever, period, with this primitive system predating the very first camera and projection devices by several years. Magic lantern shows and the théâtre optique remained highly popular staples of entertainment for several years, but were soon rendered obsolete by the incoming steam train that was the celluloid motion picture. On the next installment, we dive into the early years of celluloid film and animation.
So I think that's a really great breakdown of the oops, let me get back into the slideshow. Here we go.
In this ongoing series...
No. Okay. Sorry. So what you want, your goal is going to be continuous motion. And animation is not a moving picture, but it's a sequence of still images, frames, that shown so quickly that our eyes perceive them as continuous motion, which persistent vision is what makes the looping ball look like it's moving, which means your eye does not see the differences between each individual drawing. It doesn't pick up on those gaps. The core principle of changing each frame just a little bit is going to bridge the gap between static art and living stories. So you want to take those things into account. The frame is the single individual image. Onion skin is going to be sort of tracing each frame so that you can make sure you have that accurate flow. And then we want to investigate that historical connection. Looking at devices that that came before helps you sort of to inform how you're going to do today. And just remember, this is a sequence of frames. So you're doing sequential art. That's what they call that. Comic books are sequential art, and animation is sequential art. So if you are interested in that sort of field, there are whole college degrees about sequential art. So understanding your timing and your engineering, your frames per second is how animation and film is measured. So understanding the gaps in your still motion and your sequence, and how to make it so the illusion works. What kind of frames per second are you going to need for it to be able to create that illusion? Also thinking about with animation, the 12 principles of animation we haven't discussed yet, but we will. There's definitely, when you look at this ball, is I don't know if any of you know, but it's called squash and stretch. So the ball is going to appear, and the same thing happens with when you're showing somebody that's about to run or jump. You see them kind of rear back and then stretch forward. So squash and stretch helps to show the motion. So you're changing the shape of your ball, or whatever you are animating, there is going to be some changes in shape to show that illusion. I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. So these are my frames for my sequential art, my animation. As you can see, the ball comes in and then it bounces out. And here's the animation. If you play these, very hypnotic, very amazing. This was just done in like 5 minutes. It's not too complicated, but you can go as complicated as you want with yours. I did one last year where the clouds were moving and the background was moving. I have had students that do the time of day changes. It all depends on how much you want to take it. Like an A is going to be an A. Like if you have all of the required materials, that's fine. If you want to sort of push yourself and make it into an art piece that you're proud of, then you can do that as well. I mean, I'm proud of this, but I know that I didn't spend a lot of time on it. It's you know, it does the job. So I did make a template for you to turn in your animation. The animation, and I will show you in Brush Ninja in just a minute, but the animation is going to include, and I'll make a list of all those wonderful things they talked about in that video, but you can pick something like the zoetrope, if I can say it right, or the kinetoscope, or the theater optica. I'm having a lot of trouble with words today, but you can pick one of these and you can do a little, explain the invention, who was the inventor, the year that it was invented, and a couple of sentences about it. Then you want to, why was it important, and how is it connected to animation today? Take a couple of pictures for it. Done, done, done. Then you can put your sequential art and your animation in here. And I don't have the animation here, so. And then what surprised you about it? What did you learn? What could you improve? And then, of course, documenting your research. And the reason I put the AI down here, I had a couple of people ask me that, is sometimes when we're using things now, AI automatically pops up and does something. If it does and you feel like, well, I need to let Miss Bowie know, I'm not going to count off if I feel like it's, like if you didn't do the whole thing with animation and you didn't do all your research with it, excuse me, animation, but maybe like I spell checked or I reorganized my information. Let me know what you used. And I'm trying to find, because I know that it is pervasive at this point. So I don't want you to use it to create or do your research. But if for some reason while you're organizing things, you're like, I need a little help, and you have used it, then just let me know. And we can figure it out from there. And if I think you've used it too much, I might say, make sure next time you don't do that. So it's always good to know. Okay. So you're going to start by drawing a simple object. It can be a ball, it can be a person, it can be a flower growing, it can be a seed, it can be, we had caterpillar going into a butterfly, I've had cars, just whatever you want to draw. It's an object that you can make move. I think somebody did dandelions, I think. Like the dandelion, when you blow them, and somebody did that one year. Create a frame. Generally, you want to work on your background and then create a lot of your background and then do the onion skin. I'll show you in just a second, step by step on that. And then you just keep drawing it and repeat it until you need more than 5 frames. It says 5 here, but you need like 10 to 12 at least. And then see if it plays well. But once you get the 5, you can play it, see how it goes, and then add more. So your goal is to create a short animation, at least, I don't know why it says 5 frames. I know. At least 10 frames using onion skinning technique. You will be using, it's so simple that you can easily do 10 fast. I'll show you. You can animate something. You can check to see how it works. See if your frames per second is good. Like halfway through, when you're done 5, that's a good time to check it. Maybe that's why that comes in. Focus on making one small change per second, per frame, and make sure you see how it impacts your final result. And then we'll do this. We'll do this tomorrow. On Thursday. So let me show you in Brush Ninja real fast. Let me close this. So when you go into Brush Ninja, and this is one I did for my last recording. I've done it 3 times now. It's not going to look like this. It's going to say, let me see if I can go just the Brush Ninja site. It's going to look like this. You do not have to join. You do not have to log in. You want to click right here, right here. Okay. So, I already have mine in here. This was my second one. Okay, so clearly still works. Still does good. So I'm going to do a new one. I'm not going to save that one. I don't care about it. And I'm going to do square canvas. Okay. Things that you need to know that are here. All your tools. Your drawing tools. Your fill tool. Your color tools. Everything, everything, everything. You're going to have your frames per second here. Well, it's frames for 0.2 seconds, I guess. Right. Well, that's where it is now. So you can adjust it. Based on speed. Let's keep it nice in the middle right now. And then this is your onion for onion skin. And then we'll just do, you know what? I'll do something different. No, no. Yes, I'll do something different. Fine. I'm going to do, I'm going to attempt, we'll see how it goes. But I will definitely show you. So first I'm going to do a background. What do I want to do? Maybe I'll do a rocket ship. We'll do a planet. How about that? This will be, ooh, I need to go backwards. Took it all the way? Oh, I didn't want that. Alright, so I'm going to make a planet. I'm trying to make this round. There we go, that's fine. That's going to be the moon. Like it? Good. Glad you do. Then I'm going to make my pencil gray, and I'm going to use circles. I need to fix that, but I'll fix that in a minute. I'm up here at my circle tool. I'm not going to use my fill tool, and I'm just going to, oh, that's not a circle. That's a square. I'm going to hit my circle tool, and I'm going to make some little moon Swiss cheese holes. There we go. Alright. We can make some, alright. You're all ready to live on the moon. Alright. And then I'm going to go back to fix this because I hate it. And why won't it fix it? Go fix it. Fix. Oh, because I'm in circle tool still. Okay, so make sure you turn it to brush when you're wanting to paint with a brush. And then back to your tools when you want to paint with a tool. And then, let's see, I'm going to go, what other, do we have a rocket ship? Okay, I don't know. I don't know about space rocket. I'll just draw my own. Well, did it not let me do it? Oh, there he is. But I don't want him to be black, so, because I need it to be a color so it shows up. Alright, I'm going to make, this is going to be very simple. I think. Oof, no, I gotta let go of that. Me wishing I'd just done a bouncing ball right now. Let's put him over here. Oh. Sorry guys. Going to say that I've done this 4 times now, and it's apparently harder now at almost 10 o'clock at night. Did say my power went out today and I haven't had AC for a week. So we're just going with it. I'm gonna make 10 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna make 2 more just for funsies. And I'm gonna go back down to my first one. And I'm gonna use my rocket ship, which I think is kind of lame, but you can draw your own things, and I think that's probably better. I don't love this rocket ship. I don't know. Ooh, can I fill him? Maybe I could. Let's fill it with blue. That might make me a little bit happier. Oh yeah, there we go. That's much better. But it's in the wrong place. Okay, so my little rocket ship's going to be here, and it's going to take off. So I'm starting at my first frame, and I'm going to click my onion skin. Did I not have all my other frames? Did it take them away? Let's do this again just in case. Oh, no. I'm going to need to have all of these. Sorry, I don't want it to not do what I want to show y'all how to do. I can do it without, but I want to make sure this is the easiest way for you. So I've got my rocket filled, and I'm on my first frame. I'm going to put my rocket here. I don't know why he's transparent, but I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to click the onion skin. Oh, that's why he's transparent. I'd already clicked onion skin. So my onion skin is showing me where he is. And we are on the next frame. There we go. And it's an onion skin. So I need to draw some fire, correct? So well, let's first go back to rocket. This one is way more complicated than the ball. I'm so sorry. I maybe should have gone back to that. More. Go back to rocket again. And we'll fill it with blue. And we'll put another one right where that one was, or close to it. No, I need to be more precise. That's close enough. Alright, so he's going to be right here. And then, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and keep moving my rocket, and then I'll come back and add flames. So I'm going to go to the next one, and I'm going to put my rocket up a little bit, and then I'm going to go to the next one, and I'm going to put it up a little bit more, making sure it's kind of the right size. I'm probably making him a little bit. Oops. Maybe. Next one. You want to keep clicking and keep going so you can see where it was and about the scale he was. I'm going to have him going out into space, but I don't know how to turn I'm sure there's a way to turn it. Oh, okay, yeah, like this. So if I want him to turn slightly, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna go to the next one. And I can still see, and I need to go back to my object, and I need to click on him again, and he's the right colors and everything, and then I want to click again, and then I want to turn him a little bit more. And then I'm just going to have him get a little bit smaller as he goes away, and I might turn him some more up here. Okay. So then I'm going to go to my next one. I wonder if I can copy. Let's see if we can just copy it on the onion skin. Okay. So he's there. Nope, I can't. Just hoping that I could. Because I'm going to have to turn it straight or I'm going to keep going. Well, we have 7 out of 12, so. This guy again. Where are we? I can't see it as well. When I go here. I can see him right there. The rocket definitely is harder than other things I've done. Alright, I'm going to make it smaller. And I'm going to turn it. Maybe a little more. I wonder why. Can I duplicate this? No. I feel like there's got to be a way to do it, and I don't know how to do it. Duplicate. But can I duplicate it onto this one? Don't think so. Alright, so let's check where we are. Let's go back here. We want to start. We want maybe to get oof, that's a little wonky, but that's okay. We want to get a little flame going here. I'm going to draw with this. I'm an artist, guys. I'm an artist. Stop. I do know how to draw. I just want you to know. But this is not gonna, it's gonna be something today. It's gonna be something. And then I just want to be able to fill I don't know how to fill on Brush Ninja very well. He jumped up kind of high there that time. I could add different color into like orange, like different yellows and oranges, which would probably help add some details. But all right, we're just gonna go, and we're gonna go. And I feel like in the last one, okay. So I'm gonna play it, and you can see. I can just continue it and go that way. I could slow down my frames per second for sure. But it looks a little wonky. You can your eye doesn't allow you to forgive some of those things if you're going too slow. Too fast, it looks a little weird. But too slow, you're like, that's not right. Okay, so let's just say that I'm done there with this one. I would like to continue it that way, but it would take a while. And y'all are probably done listening to me talk for a little bit. So I'm going to look at I'm going to stop this. I'm going to see if I can add some sound here. Sound, we'll say rocket. No, engine. No, let's see, roar. No, let's see, what sounds do we have? Flush. Machine. Okay, that's going to be it. So we're going to use machine. And we're going to use machine here too. I'm going to use machine here too. And I mean, it's going to be a lot of machine. That's going to be pretty annoying. Let me see if there's another one. Let's do alien and see what happens. All right. Oh, I do like alien. Okay, so I could delete a lot of these frames for now. I can add them back later. Might keep that one. And then once you get your animation done, pretty pretty happy with it, or at least you feel like it's all right. If you do a GIF or a GIF, whichever you prefer, it is going to be no sound. So you want to export the annoying part. Oh, I forgot to tell you about the annoying. Turn on my light. You may want to as well. So you have your animation. It's downloaded. And then after that, you also want to export. You go here to more. Your comic. So when you download this, you can put it side by side. You've got your animation and you've got your sequential art. Okay? So then you put that in your portfolio and you are all done. You're done. All right, so that's everything for it. It seems like a lot, but it's actually not. It won't take you as long to do your animation as it probably took me to struggle through it today. Some days, like the first couple I did, were super fast. So I just decided I was tired of doing a bouncing ball. So once you get those done, you go ahead and send that in. I will put a deadline on your planner. So you'll see deadline animation portfolio 1. Just make sure you turn it into me before then for full credit. If it comes to me after that, you will not be getting full credit for it. If you're having a struggle and you need me to meet with you individually, that's totally fine. Book time with me and we'll meet. Don't put it off. We're not putting these projects off because they take too long. Okay? All right, everybody. So happy to see you guys on this Thursday. And I hope you have fun doing this project. Where is you can see how many times I did it today. Sad.